Hello and welcome to another Chatbox podcast. It's episode 57 of the Chatbox podcast. How are you doing today? Right, let's crack on. As you know, each week I have a guest to talk about their career or their job. So let's crack on with this week's guest. It's broadcaster Naz Premji. Hello, Naz. Welcome along.
Hello, Ben. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Looking forward to this.
That's good. 5 questions about your broadcast career, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely fine.
As you know, we try not to overrun on this show because I don't like keeping my guests for too long, but we try and keep the questions interesting but short, if you get what I mean.
I certainly do, Ben, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll
Okay.
share some secrets with you.
And stories.
Yeah,
If
secrets
that's
and
okay.
stories. Yeah, absolutely.
You ready to rumble in the jungle?
Let's do it.
Let's go for it. Question 1. Where did you start your broadcast career?
Well, it's an interesting one, Ben. I was never actually going to be a broadcaster at all. I was at university doing a degree in financial services, and my local radio station at the time, because I was very much interested in sport, was Hallam FM. And at that time, Hallam FM were running a competition called Reporter of the Year. And basically what it was they were asking listeners to send in their tapes of a report or a commentary. And it was a competition basically to see if one of the listeners was good enough to do that. So I didn't really think too much of it. I remember recording a goal commentary of, and I remember the goal as well. It was a goal that David Ginola scored for Tottenham against Barnsley in the FA Cup. And I recorded it on a cassette. And then the closing date for the competition was the following day. So I hand delivered the cassette to Hallam FM reception, and it was the legendary security guard there, Big Jim, who took the tape off me, and I didn't think anything of it. And I was at university, and I got home, and my mum said, it was the time before mobile phones were around. My mum said, "You've had a phone call now. There's been a message from a guy called Steve Banyard at Hallam FM, and he wants you to call him back." So Steve Banyard at that time was the sports editor. He said, "Naz, we've heard your tape. We'd like to invite you in, please, just to have a little chat with us." And I went in. There was about 10 of us that actually were invited in for a little chat. And I remember going in, being very frightened. It was a Tuesday night, and we were asked to, write a sports bulletin from the script that they'd given, or from the information they'd given, and we were asked to record it, and I did that. Funnily enough, Ben, that particular time is where I met my best friend, and he ended up being my best man at my wedding, and I was best man at his wedding, a guy called Matthew Solanic. He was very much in that competition as well. I met him there. We're still friends to this day, and his good lady wife works on my current radio station. So that's a story. That's another story for you. But in terms of what happened to me, they liked what they heard, and then they invited us back in. I didn't win the competition. Neither did Matt. A guy called Phil Hall won the competition, but myself and Matt were invited in to be part of the production team on the sports show for Hallam FM. And basically, myself and Matt did that, and we progressed from there. And Matt was Sheffield Wednesday reporter and commentator for a little while. I was doing sports headlines, and I was doing match producing, so editing and putting highlights together. And I did that then for about 18 months because I was still at university. I was still doing my finance degree. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I finished off my finance degree, and after that, I graduated from university in the July of that year. And in October of that particular year, I got offered a job as a news and sport trainee journalist at Hallam FM, and that's how my career started.
Wow, what a start to your career. And
It was interesting.
My aim at the moment is, because I'm doing a lot of local programming, my aim is to expand into another podcast series for the, as I say, syndication, to get my name out there a little bit.
Just work hard, Ben. That's all the advice I'll give you. Keep working away and keep doing what you're doing, because it will happen. It's got to be, keep that determination up and that energy and that drive.
I am working on a syndication at the moment that one of my friends actually inspired me, because he does the same, Nigel Bond, with his Hits and Memories program. Yeah, because
they're all of these are good ideas, Ben, and you just need to keep plugging away at it, and it will happen. The thing about this industry is sometimes you'll be working away and you'll think that nothing's happening, and then suddenly a bolt of lightning, something will come out of the blue, and then you'll get the break or the opportunity that you're wanting to do.
I try and, as well, when I do my syndication stuff, I try and make my shows about 45 minutes long.
Yeah, that's about right.
And let you guys or the people at the station add the jingles, add the adverts, add their own little bits in, and then we work around it, and then what I mean. Anyway, question 2. Who were your inspirations in broadcasting growing up?
It's a good question, that, Ben, and I've got many, actually, but I've got to say there's a number of different inspirations. I've got to say, when I was growing up, I was a big fan of Barry Davies. I think Barry Davies is one of the best commentators on sport, not just football. He's a great football commentator, but all sport. Barry Davies was an inspiration because he had this knack of just saying enough. He didn't have to say what, he didn't have to go on and on and on with a huge script. He'd just say the right things at the right time. So Barry Davies is one. David Coleman is another. Okay. David Coleman was a good presenter, good commentator. Generally, athletics was brilliant with David Coleman, but again, used to present Grandstand. Desmond Lynam, I don't think there's a better or a smoother presenter to this day that will match what Desmond Lynam did on Match of the Day, and when he moved across to ITV and did various sort of tournaments, World Cups, Euros, that kind of thing, and Olympics. Just that relaxed style of his was just awesome. And on the other side of things, there's a couple of others that inspired me too. So as I was a news and sport journalist, growing up, Sir Trevor McDonald was a huge inspiration. He was one where you'd see him on News at 10, and he had the authority, and he had the journalistic nous to ask questions that maybe others wouldn't ask, and he'd ask those difficult questions, even in the most complicated and most complex circumstances. So he's another one. And also, I'm going to give you one more, and it's purely because of what I learned in my sort of early days as a journalist, as opposed to a broadcaster, was and again, I'm going back a good few years here, but Sir Robin Day used to introduce question time. Used to wear bow ties. Very, very famous broadcaster. Used to do question time on the BBC, and he had a knack of just controlling those politicians and their guests in a way that others still, for me, can't do. So there you go.
Are you a Steve Ryder fan then?
Yes, actually, I do like Steve Ryder. Steve Ryder was also there. We could go on, and my list could be endless. you know, I could even say somebody like Dickie Davies, who used to present World of Sport too. All of these people, because you're watching them and you're thinking how amazingly cool they are, and how amazingly calm they are in those very high pressure environments. So yeah, I can understand that too.
Yeah, because I was just, before I came on with you, I was just watching the touring car coverage with Steve Rader.
Yeah, he's very good too. He is very good.
Yeah. Question 3. What is your favourite part about the job?
Good question, Ben. I'm going to tell you, I love everything about the job. Okay. There's not one thing I don't like about the job. I love the presenting of the shows. I love going out to football matches. I love the interviews. I love the traveling to football matches and traveling to events. I don't think there's anything I don't like about the job I do. I'm very, very lucky, Ben. And I thank God every single day that I'm doing a job that I actually love. And there are a lot of people in this world wake up and have to do a job that they will not probably like. And you know, I'm very, very, very fortunate to be in a position where I can wake up in the morning and know I'm going to go to work and do something I absolutely love and enjoy. And there's nothing, so everything is the favorite part of my job. There isn't anything that I don't like, because I feel like I've been handed a very privileged role and a very privileged position, and I will never, ever take that for granted. So I love everything about it, Ben.
Brilliant. That's what I love as well. I love radio. I just love sitting in the studio with some headphones or earphones on and just playing music for the people of this region, and maybe in the future other regions.
Fingers crossed.
And if your station would be up for a syndication show, then I'd happily send you a demo.
Yeah, why not? Let's see what we can do.
Cheers, Naz. You're a good one. Question 4. How has COVID affected your life and line of work?
Good question again, Ben. COVID has been very, very, it's been very hard. Okay. And I dread to think what families and communities have gone through with COVID across this last 18 months, 2 years. I've been very, very fortunate where, in terms of health and family, it's not affected us. In terms of work, it affected us very, very greatly. I'm a freelance broadcaster, so you know, when the sort of pandemic first started in March of last year, I was in a position where, you know, maybe 95% of my work had just gone, and it was basically, I had nothing, absolutely nothing. So thankfully, the organizations that I work for were very, very good. And they reassured me and said, when everything, or when things start to get back to normal, we'll be back up and running. And I've got to thank the BBC. When the football restarted, they were very, very good. And the other organizations I work for, I do some other bits and pieces in terms of horse racing and greyhound racing coverage for a company called Arena Racing Company, and they were brilliant too. So it affected me initially very, very greatly in terms of the finances. And when you're a freelance broadcaster, if people are not ringing you up to book you, then you have no work. And you know, it's hard, and you're worried about how you're going to pay the next bill, or and how you're going to pay and get food on the table. So it was tough, but thankfully, thank God, thank the Lord, it was only for a short period of time, and our health is good, family's been safe and well, and those are the most important things for me.
Yeah, I haven't, honestly. I've been out and about, and I have been, you know, and I haven't even caught anything yet because I always do my procedures. Like before I go out, I always keep my hands clean, keep myself clean, exercise quite
You've
a
got
lot.
to stay safe, Ben. Got to stay safe.
And I do that quite a lot. And I sit about 4 meters away from it, anyone except people who are in the bubble, if you know what I mean.
No, absolutely. You've got to stay safe.
I'm even at a distance sometimes in a pub where I can just boom, get a big 6 meter or 4 meter boom mic and just interview them, talk to them that way.
Yeah. It's still, it's still out there, and we've all got to do our bit just to stay safe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we have. Yeah. Question 5. What advice would you give to young aspiring broadcasters who are starting out?
That's a good question, Ben. My advice would be work hard, ask lots of questions, get lots of advice. Okay. When I was first starting out, there were a lot more avenues for people to explore. So you had lots of local radio stations. You had lots of stations where you could actually ring them up or email them and say, I want to come and volunteer. I want to come and make the tea. I want to see what's going on. Those opportunities are less now with a lot of the network stations taking over. So you've got lots of big name stations in local areas, but there's no local station anymore. Hospital radio, community radio, get as much, if it's especially radio, if that's what you're wanting to do, get as much experience as you can. And you may have to volunteer and you may have to give up your time and not get paid for it. I did it for many, many years when I first started out. And it's the same advice I'll give right now. Just get as much experience as possible. And actually, knock on all those doors and ask those people that you think are industry experts. And there's lots of them out there. And, many people I could mention, program controllers, station controllers. There's lots of people who are more than happy to help people that want that advice. You've got to go out there and ask, and you've got to go out there and show that you are determined to make it in this industry. And you've got to have drive, and you've got to have that determination, and you've got to be able to say, you know what, I will give up my time and go and present on a hospital radio show or on a community radio station, or I'll go and help my local football club with something, or I'll go and help my local non-league football club do some writing or reporting or whatever it is. As long as you've got that drive and determination, you've got a high percentage chance of succeeding. But the thing is, you've got to do it. It won't be handed to you. Nobody will give you anything on a plate in this industry. You've got to work for it, and you've got to beat those doors down and basically say, I'm here. Use me. I am very good at what I do. Give me an opportunity and I'll prove it.
And yeah, and also, as you say, that now that Bauer have taken over, somebody said it's good for your type of station to take over and badge into Bauer's old turf and
what we're trying to do,
like a train.
It's what we're trying to do, and there's lots of stations that have popped up that are just focusing on those little local areas, because those listeners are lost. They've been basically left high and dry with nobody talking about their local school or their local community, and hopefully that's what myself and North Derbyshire Radio are trying to do. We've got a long way to go yet, and there's lots of hard work still to be done, but we are getting there. And I'm very proud of the progress we've made in such a short space of time on North Derbyshire Radio. So I'm very proud of that too.
And will you ever get any of the ex-Peak FM presenters, apart from Mr. Goldsmith and others, on board?
Well, funnily enough, you mentioned Sean there. Sean is doing some stuff with us, and hopefully that will become a little bit more permanent soon. We also have Richard Spinks on Late Night Love, and he was on Late Night Love on Peak for many, many years, has an army of fans.
And you also have a presenter on your station who I have been trying to get a podcast with, who was an ex-Bauer employee called John Ishel.
John Isherwood, yes. John's a good guy too. And yeah, as I said to you in my previous answer, Ben, keep asking the question, keep plugging away, and
I'm trying to get him on board, but I'm not sure how to contact him.
Well, usual trick, really. Facebook's a good start. Everybody seems to be on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is. But yeah, if you struggle, then I might help you out a little bit.
Try and get to make a full Peak FM reunion, Richie Pearson.
Let's see, Ben. Let's see. Lots to do, and lots of hard work in store. But we're enjoying,
surprises.
The whole team at North Derbyshire Radio are enjoying what we're doing, and the listeners are too, because our numbers are very, very good. And we're very proud of the station, and it's still a work in progress. We know we've got things to do maybe a little bit better, and we will get there. But no, I'm very proud of what we've achieved so far.
As I say, one of my previous guests, Alan Wilkinson, sung your praises in his podcast.
Alan is a good guy. I know Alan. Again, I was lucky enough to be in a position to give Alan his break in radio, and he's a good guy, is Alan Wilkinson, and I'll always be. He's, even though we're not working together anymore, he'll always be a good friend, and I've always got a lot of time for Alan.
You never know. He could end up on your station one of these days.
You're handing out jobs here, Ben, willy nilly, and you know what? We're still working away. We're still working away.
You never know.
I like
you never know. You never know what happens you never know what 6 months' time will bring.
Yeah, who knows, Ben? Who knows? Let's see.
I've made so many predictions that have come true this last year and a half.
Well, I hope that continues for you, and if you're doing that well, you can buy my lottery ticket for next week.
I predicted that, as I say, Darren Leatham had joined Hull Kingston Radio, and he did. And I predicted Stephanie Hurst would leave the BBC. I just had this gut feeling, and it happened.
There you go. You're on the right lines.
I'm never making another prediction.
Go on.
I'm never making another prediction again.
Oh, you're never making another prediction again.
They went so right.
Yeah, you can't. To be fair, you can't do better than you've done. So yeah, I'd probably just leave it for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today, Naz.
It's been a pleasure, Ben, and the very best of luck with whatever you do and all the projects that you're working on. And it's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm doing a couple of shows, like a Legends of Radio program in a few months, where I interview the legends of radio, from tech ops to producers to owners of stations and all that. And then I'm hopefully in January, COVID permitting, I'm doing a double acts reunion show.
That'd be nice.
So I might even reunite some of the big radio legends like Sean Goldsmith and Becky Measures, who I know very well.
Yeah.
On a 1 hour show, which I host, and then we just chat, have music,
It'd be nice.
Reunite on the radio for 1 hour of golden hour.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Thank you for your time, Ben. Honestly, really appreciate it.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening and watching. Do join me again for another podcast. But for now, please give it up for Naz Premji. But for now, as I always say, that's a wrap.